So one of the new features which I'm really excited about with the DJI Mini 4 Pro is the ability to use waypoints. This is something we've been asking for on the mini drones for a long time now, and it's finally here. So the way I understand it, this works very similar to how it does with the more premium Mavic series of drones and the recent Air 3. But I do want to test this out for myself now that I have a drone that is capable of using these waypoints. So let's get the Mini 4 Pro into the air. It is quite windy today. We do have a storm coming later and there's a few specks of rain in the air, but hopefully the Mini 4 Pro will be a bit of a trooper and handle it no problems. Let's see how we get on. So there are a few ways we can use this feature, but regardless, we need to start by clicking the waypoint icon, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. It's sort of the letter S that is laid down on the side. So we'll go ahead and select that. And what we can do is start by either flying the drone, which is actually the method I'm going to use, and just manually plot our waypoints in the sky, or we can use the map. And to do that, we simply start tapping on the screen where we want those waypoints to appear. Okay, and then, for example, if I tap again, we'll get another waypoint, and then we can just plot all the way around the area we want the drone to fly. And then by going on to the individual waypoints, we can set our camera action, whether we want to record or take photos, the altitude, the speed of the drone, and how we want the gimbal and the camera to be behaving in terms of where they are facing. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, because I like to actually see what it is that I'm working with. So what we're going to do instead is just come out of the waypoint system for now, and we're going to take off and plot this manually in the sky. So let's go ahead now and get the drone into the air. Take off. Hopefully it will handle some pretty windy conditions right now so we can get this feature demonstrated. Now, there are no exciting landmarks, unfortunately, where I live, so we're just going to have to find something for the purposes of example. And there is a car park over here, just a small car park for dog walkers. So yeah, it is going to serve our needs, I would think. I'm just going to use this as our point of interest. And interestingly, if we just access the waypoint system, we can select point of interest and it will keep whatever our subject is in frame automatically. But we're going to do things a little bit more manually. So I'm going to drop the gimbal down and we will just turn the drone a touch so that the car park is roughly center of the screen. And then on the left hand of the controller at the back, there is the C1 button. We can tap that. And that will add our first waypoint. You can see at the bottom there. And now all we need to do is fly the drone a little bit. We can adjust the height as well if need be. Maybe we can lower it a touch. Okay, I won't go too far. And if we once again just head over to the car park there, our very exciting point of interest, and tap the C1 button, we will add our second waypoint. And now if we just move forward a touch, it's important that each time we add a waypoint, we are putting the gimbal and the camera in the position that we want. So let's just move over a little bit more here. Okay, and then again, we'll face that car park. Just lower the gimbal a touch, keep it more center frame, and then we will tap the C1 button once more. And now let's be a little bit daring. We're going to raise our height, I think, by a substantial amount. I don't want to go too far away though just yet. Yeah, let's raise the height there. And if we just drop the gimbal right down, we're going to get some pretty hefty movements, but we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, there's our fourth waypoint. And what I'm going to do now is sort of position the drone over the car park. And I'm hoping that all the movements will be quite smooth. That's the whole point of the waypoint system. And if we just drop the gimbal vertically, and shall we raise our height as well? Let's just try and reposition that. We'll just... Oh, no, we don't want to go that high. I can't actually see the height because of the waypoint system on the screen. There we go. Let's go ahead now and add our fifth waypoint. Okay, and what we're going to do at this point is select next. Although before we do that, We can make any adjustments we want to the waypoints we've created by clicking on them. We can see that we can change the altitude of each waypoint, the speed, which I'll talk about a little bit later, the heading and the gimbal tilt. But what I'm going to do for now, since we've got waypoint 1 selected, is choose to start recording. Okay, you can see we can start recording, take photo, stop recording, or do nothing. And now if we either switch through the waypoints here, or if we go back and select our final waypoints, we can choose to stop recording. This will use the camera settings as we have them selected on our Fly app. Okay, so let's head back, and now we're going to select next. And now we can set the global settings for all waypoints. So for example, we can change the speed here. So let's go to, should we say about 12 miles an hour? 5 is just a little bit too slow. We get to choose then, once we've completed this waypoint mission, what we want to do. So we can keep the drone where it is at the end of the mission. By hover, we can return to home, we can land, or we can head back to the start, which is mission 1. So what I'm going to do is choose return to home, and maybe the drone will land itself for us and we don't even have to do any work. And also, if we were to lose signal, we can choose what we want to do. I don't recommend selecting land. Continue means it will continue on with the mission, even if the drone loses all signal to the controller, and then at the end of the mission, it will engage whatever you've selected it to do, in my case, return to home. But I always panic if we lose signal, so I will just select to return to home immediately. And then we have our start point, which is waypoint 1. So let's go ahead now and select go. The drone is then going to automatically move itself into position, which is waypoint number 1. We can adjust the gimbal while it does that so we can see where it's going. But the gimbal movements on the mission will be controlled by the drone itself. So this is just going to be a real game-changing feature, I think, as part of the Mini series. Now, it was possible with the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 Pro to use third-party apps such as Litchi in order to access waypoints. But of course, you do have to be a little bit more cautious due to the fact that those drones lack obstacle avoidance, at least omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. And the fact it was never built into the DJI Fly app was always a bit of an inconvenience. So now we have the feature, all part of the app, and I think it's going to be getting a lot of use. So there we have it. We've now reached waypoint 1 to start the mission. Okay, we've got a little bleep there from the controller, and the mission has begun. The recording has started. I'm recording in 4K 60 frames per second. Oh, that's interesting. It said obstacle detected, and so now the mission has stopped, which has completely confused me because there are no obstacles. Yep, there's no like super tall trees that are 180 foot high around here. Oh, that's utterly bizarre. I can only assume there was a bird or something that interrupted that particular mission. So what we're going to do is, if we select next and select go, it should head back to the start for us and try again. I'm not sure what that was. If that wasn't a bird, I can only assume it was a glitch of some kind, because there's definitely no physical objects there in the way. I'm looking at the drone right now in the sky. There is nothing near it. So hopefully that was just a bird and that this mission is going to complete successfully. Here we go for attempt number 2. Yep, it's certainly gotten further than it got to before, so. It didn't start recording again because I hadn't stopped the recording, which meant it was already in that mode. And as you can see, we get the full gimbal movements. And one of the great things about the Waypoint system is you can plot your course, knowing exactly how high you are from various obstacles or how far away from them you are. You can move the camera so you can see things more clearly. And you don't have to concern yourself then when you are running the waypoints, when you are completing the mission, with how close you are to various obstacles, because you've already tested that out when you plotted the course. So you will get that far more smooth cinematic footage without the gimbal having to adjust itself to see what obstacles are close by. And yeah, it's just going to, as I say, be a wonderful feature for us to use with the Mini 4 Pro. And it looks like we've just about finished that mission. and the automatic return to home has kicked in. So let me just adjust the gimbal here so we can see what is happening. It's an interesting feature, this AR system. I'm not sure exactly how it helps us. It's pretty good, I have to say, though, having the home points physically marked on the display, not just on the map. I do like that. But the actual green path confuses me a little bit, since we know it's coming to the home point anyway. But hey, it looks awesome, so. And that is really, really close to our takeoff point. Let's cancel the landing for now. I'll just bring that down so you can see where it is. We took off from this picnic table, and it's very, very close back to the picnic table. That's really impressive. I'll bring it down manually now. So there we have it then, folks. My Mini 4 Pro has just flown its first Waypoint mission, and despite that strange situation at the start where it said there was obstacles close by when there wasn't, maybe you folks could have an explanation as to why that happened. It did successfully complete the mission on the second attempt, and I think the footage looked really nice and smooth, so you can get some fantastic cinematic shots. Even though I wasn't going for a cinematic shot today, I was just testing out the feature. Hopefully it gives you an idea as to the sort of things you're going to be able to do with it. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I hope it's helped you folks out. If it has, please do consider dropping a like and subscribing to my YouTube channel to be notified of future Mini 4 Pro videos. Happy flying, I'll see you next time.